So now we get to the fun part. What are the top 10 changes that we see having the most impact? So I'm going to go through them and I'm going to go through the first couple, then I'm going to hand it over to MJ to kind of finish it off for us. So what are these top 10 changes? The first, this is the most exciting, is the de minimis increase. So for those of you who do not have a negotiated indirect cost rate agreement, you have had to adhere to the 10% de minimis cost rate. That is now increasing to 15%. There's also an increase in the single audit threshold. There also is going to be a focus on the NOFO template language being plain English, and we're going to go through these in more depth. There's also going to be some positive impacts to be more inclusive for tribal government and nations. And also there's clarification on those who were required to have a UEI or unique entity identifier and registration in SAM.gov. So these are the top 5. And the rest of them are prior approval for eligible costs. So there's not going to be as much of a necessity to obtain that prior approval. And then there's going to be a bunch of different procurement and MTDC, that's modified total direct cost thresholds. There's an increase there. There's also some removal of some of the geographic preferences for those who deal with a lot of construction projects or procurement. This will probably impact you, as will Build America, Buy America impacts and some of the more refined language around that, and also language around the micro purchase documentation. I did want to add some honorable mentions because it's important to note that these do not constitute all of the changes. These are just reflective of those who we felt that would have the most impact, but there are others. And so I wanted to just make a note of some of them just for your own reference, but I encourage you, and there are some links at the end that you can take a look at the guidance. There's also some great blog posts on there that are showing some of the recent updates and changes. So I definitely encourage you to dig a little bit deeper if you want to see more of the changes that are taking place. So one of them is procurement with veteran-owned businesses. So that is encouraged now. So that is actually included to be part of the procurement process. So just something to think about if you do a lot of procurement. Also, federal recipients are encouraged to think more about sustainability. So things like products that are refurbished, reused, recycled, and encouraging that, as part of the procurement process as well. Also, there's additional clarification on, and I know some of you may not deal with program income, but I know that this has come up several times on the use and expenditure of program income. So again, something to think about and something to weave into your procurement processes and other policies that you have within your organization. So those are just things that I wanted to mention, but I said, this does not reflect all of the changes. So just be mindful of that.